I have been thinking about something that most people won't admit out loud and is probably going to make you uncomfortable. So let's start there. You know the feeling when you're trapped in something that pays well but costs you everything. And the worst part is, you can't actually point to why you are staying there. That's what I want to explore today. The real war between freedom and responsibility. Not the Instagram version of freedom, the actual thing. Here's what happened. I have been angry at the corporate world for a long time, but that anger was messy, unfocused. Then I hit this word that changed how I was thinking about it: yearning. I realized I wasn't just angry, I was yearning for something else, something higher. And the gap between that yearning and my actual life was eating at me. And I think almost all of us feel that same disconnect, whether we talk about it or not. So here's the harsh part: not everyone achieves what they yearn for. Most people don't. So why do we chase it? The answer is simple: responsibility. We are tied down by it. In India, and I'm speaking about what I see around me, poverty and helplessness are everywhere. For most people, the only task that matters is putting food on the table. Even in the middle class or upper middle class, no one thinks about yearning because they are too busy pulling themselves and their families out of the hole they have been living in. I see people taking loan after loan just to meet basic necessities. They don't have the luxury of this conversation. But then there's people like me, Gen Z. We grew up in relatively well off families. The world was open. We saw what freedom looked like. Everything was accessible at our fingertips. There's where the yearning starts to mess with you. There's something happening with each new generation. You are moving up in the spiral dynamics. We are becoming more conscious. Gen Z started noticing the slavery in the system our parents accepted without question. The unconscious decisions, the trance, we see right through it. We ask, is this how it's supposed to be? And here's the brutal answer: yes, it is what it is. Right now, today, you have to. And I'm not being dramatic. Suck off your corporate overlords and live your life in trance day in, day out. Why? Because of some pit you or your ancestors dug. For me, it was an education loan. For others, it can be house loan, a fancy car, or family debts they have been forced to carry. So you are sitting in these fancy offices with a ton of money and you are asking yourselves, what's the actual point? I have an appraisal coming up and I have been wrestling with this exact question: do I want more money or more freedom? And here's the thing nobody says out loud: in the corporate world, more money equals more slavery. Let me be clear: everyone needs money. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. But you have to stop and ask yourself, what does this money actually mean to me? Is it buying me freedom, or is it just making me a more sophisticated slave? Let's talk about what freedom actually is. Most people think freedom means no responsibilities. Those people are already fucked. That's the opposite of freedom. Freedom actually comes with the most responsibility. You have to work twice as hard to maintain it. So, what does freedom even mean? Here's my interpretation, and it might change over time, but right now, I think freedom is nothing but effort on your own terms. That's it. Not the traveling, not the avoiding of responsibilities, not living in a cabin in the woods. Those are byproducts. They are not the thing itself. If freedom is effort on your own terms, then let's make it meaningful. You accept that to get those byproducts, you have to work a lot. But when you become more conscious, you start asking a different question. I'm ready to put in the hours, but at what? I yearn for those byproducts, the fancy Provence cafe, the philosophy books, and the lifestyle, all of it. But what's the real learning underneath that? What's the purpose? Because here's the thing, you can earn those same byproducts in the job as well. So it's definitely something else. And here's where it gets dark. Some people die still trying to answer that question. Did they fail? No, I don't think so. It's just that hard. When you realize that, a corporate job doesn't seem so bad anymore, does it? I have seen people on both extremes. The person who committed fully to the yearning and the person who gave up and accepted the corporate trap. Honestly, both are miserable. It usually comes down to the same thing, a lack of purpose, a lack of higher goal. It's about what you actually want at a core level. For me, I thought hard about this. I yearned to retire in a small town in Provence, France, working in a petite cafe on some tech, reading philosophy and psychology books. But I had to ask myself, do I actually want that exact life or do I yearn for what it represents? I think it's the latter. I can't tell you exactly what it means yet. I'm still figuring it out. And here's another layer. Some people want what they call an eternal project, something that helps humanity and transcends their own death. They find meaning there. Me, I'm more in the camp that there isn't a lot of inherent meaning to life. My goal doesn't help humanity or transcend my death, and neither path is wrong. It just depends on your unique worldview. So here's what I'm leaving you with. And I know it's not a neat answer. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job or to embrace the system. I'm here to tell you that the question is harder than the Instagram version of what freedom suggests. The war between what you yearn for and what you are responsible for, that's the actual war. And it's one most of us will be fighting for a very long time. The real question isn't whether to choose freedom or responsibility, it's what you are actually yearning for underneath all of it. And that's the answer. That's something you have to figure out for yourself. Thank you.